Hi, everybody, and welcome to I Fucking Love Whiskey. My name is Andrew Pierce, and I'm here, as always with my co-host, Mr. Joseph Limbaugh.
That's me. Hello. I also fucking love whiskey.
And we are joined with a special guest, as always, and today it's Mr. James Hudson.
What up, y'all? How's it going?
Hooray.
James Hudson is a very talented game designer, a game guru, I guess, and I don't know, just an amazing guy. He's very charming as well, and he likes whiskey. So,
thank you very much. That was very nice of you to say. But yeah, like you see behind me, I'm a bit of a board game nerd. I even got my board game geek shirt on. So, yeah, you know, I make them, I design them, I develop them, put them into the world. So just like you, Joseph, you got a little postcard thing going on that's pretty dope.
I do. I make games on postcards. It is true. It is true. Thank you for saying it's dope. I enjoy it. Yeah, I love games. We love games.
You got to follow your passions, right? Hey, speaking of my passion, I've already poured our first one because we're going to just warm up quickly because this is a lineup of over 50% alcohol whiskeys. This is just a banknote, a 5-year-old blended Scotch whiskey. It's as blended whiskeys go, it's fantastic. There's a pretty high malt percentage. And we're just going to sample this and sip this to warm up here, just to get going. Because we can keep talking about whatever. Like, what's the latest game you've done, James?
Oh, we've got quite a few. Oh, yeah.
The first whiskey of the day.
First whiskey of the day, early afternoon. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, banknote is not bad. I like banknote. Like, it's a great blended, like, not expensive Scotch. It's
Can't beat the price, and it's a great go-to.
Yeah. Board game wise, we do a lot of things on Kickstarter. We do a lot of straight to retail. The one that we finished recently was called Wonderland's War. It's our take on what happened to Alice once she left Wonderland and the consequences of her bringing seriousness to such a wacky, insane world and the after effects of it. So it's a lot of fun making board games. So, oh God, that was good. I want the rest of it. Now, this opens up a great story for me. One of my best friends in the entire world lives in Louisville, Kentucky, and he is a bourbon-holic. He is, whereas like I have these shelves of board games behind me. He has shelves of bourbon, and that's just what he does, right? And he came down from Louisville. I used to live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's where I was born and raised, and lived for 30 whatever years till I moved out here to LA 2 years ago. And that's why you might hear the Southern twang in my voice. So he came down. He was like, "I want to do some flight tastes for you and your friends, just your friends, not any of your redneck friends that just like Jim Beam, but like people who really appreciate good bourbon." And I was like, "Yeah, I know some of those people." So he comes down. He pours the first set of flights. They're 1 ounce pours, like we're doing here. And I take the first one and I go, and he just looks at me with just rage, absolute rage in his eyes.
I understand your friend very, very well.
He's like, "You redneck moron, do not shoot my whiskey." And then he went back to like, "Okay, I didn't know I need to walk you through this, but here's what we're going to do." So.
Well, you could shoot banknote. It's at, it's if you wanted to. Well, you could. It's banknote.
Again, if it's your whiskey, you do whatever you want with it. You
okay.
First of all, 12 ice cubes in it if you want.
But like, if you, I don't want to disrespect the banknote, but if you have someone over, Andrew, and someone's like, "I want to mix it with something. This is what
I pull out." Yeah,
you would pull out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just once again, like for the price point, this is a really good. It's good Scotch. So.
Yeah. Fantastic, serviceable, and it gets our taste buds woken up.
It is for real, though. As someone who before that flight tasting and hangout, like I just drank whatever, and if something tasted good, I was like, it tastes good. Tastes good in my Coke, whatever. But it was that experience that turned me from somebody who mixed Coke in all of my bourbons to somebody who was like, "No, I want it neat." And then when I go and I order stuff at a hotel when I'm traveling, if I want something on the rocks, I'm like, "How many rocks do you put in it? Like, do I get a glass full of ice? I don't want a glass full of ice. Like, do you have one small ice cube you can put in there?" So I'm a mediocre snob. I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I got enough information to be a jerk about it.
It is one of the things that I loved about learning more about whiskeys and scotches in particular, is just the confidence of going into a bar and knowing like, oh, I'm going to spend a little bit more on that shot and I'm going to have it neat and I'm going to love it. Just knowing in advance, having, not just having to go to Lagavulin every single time, which is kind of where I was, 8 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's nice to be able to go into like for me and go like, they've got an affordable. Maybe they got a 12-year Pappy, something that's somewhat affordable. Like, I'm celebrating tonight for some reason. Now I know at least what I'm talking about. Where before I was like, all I know is Booker's is real strong, and if I'm looking to get drunk, let's drink Booker's.
Yeah, I think hopefully as you age, you get a more sophisticated approach to what you want to do with alcohol. Like I want to sit and enjoy it and talk with friends, and this is kind of what this environment is.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on then. It looks like James is already ahead of us.
He has to prep his glass and stuff. Like my glasses are all set up already.
Okay, so. You're ahead of to James. I'm sorry, Joseph. Didn't mean to imply anything. I apologize.
What's going on?
We're moving on to the Glen Scotia here. This is a Campbeltown Malts Festival 2019, still in 2003. So it's like 15 or 16 years old, but there's no actual age statement on here. I can't remember. I think it's like the last 3 years or 4 years it was in a rum cask. And this stuff is really good. Joseph and I got his bottle down to about here, and I've got my bottle down to about here. So we've really liked this one, and if you can find it anywhere, we'd recommend picking it up.
Yeah, it's one of those scotches that's really unique. Like it's great, but it's like, I don't know, the smell and the flavor. We'll just get into it, and we'll see. But it's a good one.
Here we go.
I smell wood.
Oak comes through. There's a nice color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. It's very woody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But if you back away from that just a bit, I do feel that little tropical influence of the rum cask there.
Yeah, it's just hovering in the background.
Coconut leaves and do coconuts don't have leaves, do they?
Yeah, no. Rum is full of coconut leaves.
That's how it's made. Coconuts and leaves.
Yeah, definitely. There's like a Johnny Depp sort of smelling. A little bit of.
I don't smell any pirates.
I do feel like if I wanted to, like, because I like often like I'll build a house inside of the nose. I just feel like this is like the deck of a ship with like you've got like tar and like ropes, like old ropes and.
Oh yeah.
This
is a ship deck, a wooden ship deck.
Yeah, I can close my eyes. I'm there.
Timbers.
Yeah, I'm under the deck. We're in there.
Oh, you get the kind of rum sweetness at the end. Oh,
yeah. I just feel like this scotch is so much about the finish. Like it's like, you're like, oh, that's good, and then it's like, but it's really good. Like the end, that last part is like, hey, you like it more than you thought at first, right? It's
just like this. I don't know. It's not caramel, but it's a sweet kind of finish, and it's just sitting there on the tongue still. Mm-hmm. What a delight! And there's a bit of funk in it too. A little bit, a little kind of, it's not just kind of like straight and smooth. There's a little kind of.
That's what I always tell my friends who really like Scotch. Scotch for me is like the IPAs of whiskey, right? Like there's some of them that can get real funky, and if you like funky, then Scotch, some of those are going to get woody and funky, and you're going to like them. I typically go more sweeter, more heat, more sweet. That's why I probably am in the bourbon family more than I am Scotch. But man, this one's good, and it had a surprising finish. Like I'm probably a good guinea pig here because I don't drink Scotch very often, and so like that one, at first, like Joseph was saying, I got that first hit, and I was like, oh, that's solid. Whoa, what is that flavor? That's totally different, and that's one of the things that bourbon doesn't do nearly as well as Scotch. Like Scotch really has those layers that you can distinctly pick out.
Yeah, that's a great observation that it's like the IPA of whiskeys, because it is. Yeah, IPAs have a wide range of like flavors and powers and depths. I think other than than some beers. Like there's a lot like
yeah. Also
So
haven't drank Scotch or Scotch type whiskeys in quite a few years, and so I've had a lot of practice on bourbon. Maybe my palate I'm enjoying this a lot more than I remember previous scotches, or maybe I just drank crap Scotch before. I don't know. You made a point a second ago previously that it's interesting, and I think it relates to my world and board games. Is you're saying as you get older and the more you have a purpose with your alcohol drinking, and it's to do things like this, is to bring people together and have those social connections. One of the things that I've coined by accident, it wasn't any sort of like literary genius on my part. It was that board games are like social lubrication.